All right, hello and welcome everyone. Game number 1, BLT versus Enigmatic. We're getting into it. Enigmatic have had a bit of a shake-up. They will be playing tit for tate this game. And we're going to jump right into draft. BLT electing the blue side for game number 1. Enigmatic will take the red side. So let's take a look at some of these bands here. BLT have been spreading their bans across the board a little bit. We've got an Embessa ban and a new ban. And final ban going to be the Aurelian Soul for the side of BLT. Enigmatic also doing a little bit of topside focus. And an ADC ban as well. So Shen banned out. Tom Kench taken off the board. And of course the Caitlyn on as well. BLT electing a Seraphine pick early. And this is a pretty good flex. 3-way, although not commonly seen APC. More common in both mid and support. Most common in support role. Enigmatic, though, will respond with a Jinx hover. Start up with the Jarvan. Now looking a little bit more at that Jinx selection. Going for the hyper carry. Trying to take away some of the pairings for the side of BLT. Now, interesting to note that Smolder has not been banned and not been picked by either of these teams. Enigmatic not opting to take it, and BLT do not prioritize it as well. Seraphine, definitely an okay priority, but when something like Smolder is on the board, you really need to pick that away. For the side of Enigmatic, they are still hovering that Jarvan. Definitely very strong into the Seraphine, but picking it early kind of signifies what kind of team comp they're going for, especially with that Jinx. They will lock it in. BLT, final 2 picks for this first round. We'll see what they elect to go for. Need something to pair with that Seraphine in the bot lane, or potentially look for a jungle and a top lane pick. We'll pick up the jungle here. Xin Zhao going to be the answer into the Jarvan. And a very good one at that. Xin Zhao very good at fighting some of these battles. Very good early into the Jarvan as well. We'll create a good target for the Seraphine Encore as well. So BLT kind of starting to build their core composition out here. Don't know yet where the Seraphine is going. Hopefully, if BLT know how to draft, we will not find out until late. But it will be the Ashe picked up, so it will be Ashe Seraphine in the bot lane. Could still be the Seraphine flex 2 mid lane, but unlikely as this lane is incredibly strong. Definitely do not want to separate that out. ENG not recognizing the potential pick, not taking away that Ashe. Yuumi will be the hover now, and this is definitely an interesting pickup with the Jinx. But leaves the lane very vulnerable, especially in the early game. So we'll have to see. Ooh, okay, Braum I like a whole lot better than Yuumi. Do not really ever see Yuumi in competitive play. Occasionally we do, but it does happen. Okay, Braum going to be the final pickup, and this is looking pretty good for the side of ENG. They have a decent amount of team fight, decent amount of protection for the Jinx, and a decent amount of engage, where BLT have drafted themselves a very strong early bot lane with a good jungler. But we return to the bans now, as ENG will be kicking us off with a Veigar ban, focusing down some of that mid lane. Yone going to be next on the chopping block. 2 potential roles for that pick, and that is very good. Now, will they recognize the potential pick up or a Briar, or will they elect to leave it open? Is going to be the Lux ban hovered here now. Will be swapped out to the Silas. And Cassante, the final ban for the side of BLT and the final ban of the game. ENG now have priority on this next pick. See what they elect to go for and what pick they elect to hide. Could look for a top lane pick and allow their mid to potentially counter pick, but it will be the Mel Hubbard here. Mel, a very good counter into BLT. Definitely not able to play Seraphine very effectively. Ashe also could potentially have some issues with that Mel. So it will be the Mel locked in. And this I kind of like. There's a decent amount of protection now against the Seraphine and the Ashe. Will be that Mel in mid lane. But if Roxina picks up, or has picked up Mel, that definitely would expand his champion pool. It will be the Lux as a response. And this is a decent lane into Mel. Able to poke her out. Able to get that reflect off relatively easily, but I'm starting to worry about the amount of abilities that can be reflected by this Mel. You're really putting stock into overloading that ability. Final pickup here for the side of BLT will be the Darius locked in, and this is a very interesting team comp, kind of very front to back. Xin Zhao and Darius standing in that front line. Lux, Seraphine, and Ashe all able to stand behind them. But Jarvan very good at getting around, at flanking, at finding those backline carries. Xin Zhao going to need to protect this bottom lane very vigorously. ENG, their final pick here, will be for top lane, and we'll see how they elect to play this. Will be the Aatrox hover, and will be the Aatrox lock. All right, game number 1. BLT versus Enigmatic. Let's get it started as a little bit of early action coming out here for the mid lane. 3 people walking in towards that top side. Need to be a little bit careful, but bot lane also engaging. Crimson Pog electing to use that sweeper early. Phoenix getting a ward down on this top side. Or the side of Enigmatic. Xin Zhao still going to start on this top side. Will do his blue buff first, but Pernix now forced away just a little bit. Does have to flash. Okay. Darius getting that early advantage in the top side. Going to feel very bad for the side of the Aatrox. Things calm down here just a little bit. Both junglers will be starting on this top side. Need to get that bot lane going. So we'll be interested to see how they path. Carol, though, using half of his mana pool early. Going to feel a little bit bad on the Ashe as well. Xannied Philly Rat hitting the level 2 first will do a lot of damage to this Aatrox. Will hit the level 2. This lane will push into him, so he will feel a little bit safer. But definitely going to feel a little bit of pressure on this Aatrox, as he does not currently have Flash. Misery Loves not really able to hit a whole lot of these abilities early on. Not going to feel as good, but tit for tat, taking a decent amount of damage in this mid lane. Does use the reflect. We will have to see how this does work out for them. Misery not able to find that E on the Seraphine. Antibiotics doing a really good job of poking things out in the mid lane, avoiding a lot of those skill shots from the Mel. Ooh, will land. The Lux binding. Bot lane here for the side of BLT. Looking for a recall. The blue buff following Anomaly a little bit. Looking for a little bit of love. Will not find it. Will find his death instead. Anomaly getting that first Scuttle Crab and very far ahead, but looking for a play onto Antibiotics here. Ooh, Antibiotics using the Lux Q, and tit for tat will force out the flash from Antibiotics on that Lux. Anomaly getting that early spell. Meanwhile, Ronit on this bottom side, not able to make anything happen. Not find the angle as the wave was pushed in. And a bit of an interesting choice. We do see Ooh, top lane, though, is going a bit aggressive. Pernix turning the tables on this top lane fight. Zanny Philly Rat, though, fancies his chances, will use the Ghost. Does have Ronan here on this top side. Knows that Pernix still does not have that flash. Will use both summoners of his own. Now Ronan trying to find another angle. The flash coming out from Ronan. Pernix now knocked up and will be taken down for first blood. Definitely not going to feel good having to flash early. If he still had that flash, would not have had as much of an issue. On this bottom side, though, things are relatively calm, but the Jinx is farming a little bit better than the Ashe. Is going to need to land some more of the skill shots because this bot lane has not been poked out at all. Crimson Pog, the only one who is not looking super healthy, still has his full mana pool and will be able to make things happen. Bot lane for the side of BLT will get interrupted in their recall. Crimson just stepping forward, and John Scott is going to have a lot of time to push in this wave. A lot of missed XP, but Carol has elected to stay. Misery is staying as well. Now, multiple members of Enigmatic are here. They know Ronan is coming over, and Anomaly finds the knockup. Will find the kill. Will tip for Tat. Oh, and a good reflect onto Antibiotics. Anomaly just waiting for that final knockup. Will land it, and tip for Tat. Collect his first kill in this mid lane as well. Enigmatic up multiple kills in this game. 1.2k gold early. Misery and Carol battling it out on this bottom side, but with the priority that Enigmatic's bot lane has, their jungler feels safe to start up this Drake early. And this bot lane that was supposed to be so strong, really struggling to get anything going. Danny and Philly Rat will find a little bit of damage on that top side, forcing Pernix to use the ultimate on that Aatrox. Does have the flash available now. Ooh, Misery having to flash away, but Ronan is on his way down. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Antibiotics and Tit for Tat battling it out. Both have that level 6. Going to be so big. Ooh, the ultimate lands. And for the side of Antibiotics, just not enough, not quick enough. But John Scott getting return kill on that bottom side. Won't slay Misery Loves. That Mel ultimate passed just slightly before the Lux ultimate. Very, very close in that mid lane. But at Mel, now 3-0. Going to feel very strong. Will likely have both components of his first item. Will indeed pick up the Lost Chapter and the Hextech Alternator. This Mel is going to be very strong. About 1100 gold ahead. Crimson Pog now making his way up to this mid lane, clearing out a bit of the vision on Antibiotics' side. We go back to similar trading patterns. Both laners just trying to poke each other out. These artillery mages are doing their job as Anomaly doing his. Looking for an invade. Will get spotted out by this ward. We'll just clear it. Walk back out. Can go towards the grubs. Pernix does have the priority on that top side. Misery Loves rooting up John Scott on that Jinx. Will not manage to do a whole lot more than that. Pernix now, though, finding Ronan on this top side, and this is looking really bad for Ronan. Popping the ultimate is Pernix. Anomaly coming over the wall, will use the Cataclysm, will lock both of them in there, but Danny Philly Rat says, you're locked in here with me. And Pernix says, nope, never mind. John Scott on the bottom side, though, getting stunned up by the Encore. Misery Loves managing to survive for a little bit before going down, but Carol does have that Ash passive on the Braum. Will use the Hawk Shot. Crimson trying to survive for as long as he can, but the strength of that bottom lane coming out. Both summoners for both bot laners burned. In response, only the heal. Actually, no summoners burned. Mystery Loves didn't even have either. Oh, tit for tat. Gets the kill onto Antibiotics once again. And this game is starting to look pretty much in control of the side of Enigmatic. Really, really strong early game from their side. Bot lane in a little bit of trouble, but still up in favor of the Jinx, thanks to that farm lead. Isri just not able to land a lot of the poke necessary to really make this lane happen. The ultimates coming out from both of these members, if they land, would make things incredibly difficult for the side of Enigmatic. 10 minutes into the game, a 3.5k gold lead, and this is definitely one of the bigger gold leads that we've seen. Ronit now here on this bottom side, knowing that his bot lane is ahead, wanting to push that lead even further. The rest of the map starts to fall apart a little bit for the side of BLT. Not able to find the angle though, does head to his Krugs. Lane pushing away for the side of BLT. As these mid laners trade blows back and forth once again. The Luden's Echo completed for the Mel. This mid laner very accelerated, and we know just how difficult that can make this game. Crimson Pog not electing to use the Glacial Fissure. We'll just push in this wave, try to collect some plates, and then reset. Anomaly spotted out by the Hawk Shot from the Ashe. Ronit here on this bottom side. Both teams start to posture around this Drake, but for the side of Enigmatic, quite a bit stronger, and they should likely give this one. Their bot lane does collect 2 plates. And will likely reset after this. Scott kind of wandering around out of vision, but Danny Philly Rat in a bit of a tough position here against Pernix. Does pop the ultimate, but Darius just going to walk away. Don't know about that one. It's Ronit now sniffing around this top side. Danny Philly Rat is going to use the flash. Very, very close in this mid lane, but Anomaly on the bottom side using the Cataclysm. The Encore comes out in response. Ronit now really doing some work on this top side. Avoids the Aatrox Q3. Going to be fighting back and forth, and the healing from Ronit just slightly better than Pernix. Will slay that Aatrox on the top side. On the bottom side, no kills just yet, but here comes Tit for Tat onto Zanny Rat and does collect the kill. Enchanted Crystal Arrow coming out from Carol does land, but does not manage to snag them a kill. No other follow-up available. Luden's Echo now completed for Antibiotics in this mid lane. But 5-0 on that Mel, almost half an item up. Will feel really good for the side of Tit for Tat. Anomaly now fancies himself a bit of a steal away. Will get the buff, but will be locked up. Will get the Lux ultimate out and will get the Blast Cone over the wall. Ronit now looking for something. Zanny Philly Rat very, very low. Will manage to secure the kill though. Tit for Tat trying to get something back here. Anomaly gets over the wall. Watching for that Lux binding. And I'm not sure if trading a buff for your top laner's life is necessarily the trade you want to make, especially when Pernix is playing something that can take over the game, like that Aatrox. But Darius electing to go with the very aggressive early build will have that Youmuu's Ghost Blade. And I'm not entirely sure that I like this build. I really like the more bruisery build on Darius, but I suppose one way to do it, especially if there are multiple squishy members for the side of Enigmatic, you really need to focus on those members. Despite the gold lead, this game looking very back and forth. Multiple teams making good moves, or both teams making good moves. We'll be trading back and forth, but Enigmatic with those neutral objectives controlled up. 2 Drakes and all 3 Grubs. Completely even in plates though, no first turret just yet. Neither team holding a commanding lead of this game just yet. Anomaly now here on this bottom side will spot out Ronan, who was looking for a play but not really able to find one. The Ashe will throw out the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, but Crimson will answer with the ultimate of his own. Multiple kills going on now. John Scott trying to get excited will get slain by Antibiotics. Ronan will fall. Now looking for a 3-man dive onto Misery. Will find the Cataclysm. Will find the ultimate. Tit for tat now dominating on that Mel, but Antibiotics is trapped. Anomaly in an awkward position, and he will go down as well. Antibiotics does need to be careful here. Will be looking for a play on that Lux. Will flash forward. Will force a flash out of Tit for tat, excuse me. Danny Philly Rat taking some damage up here on this top side. Franks going aggressive, but getting pulled back underneath the turret. Will be forced to pop the Aatrox ultimate, but just not enough damage, and he is not far enough ahead to be that disrespectful of this Darius. Will lose his life. Antibiotics looking for John Scott once again in this mid lane. Will use the teleport, go from bot lane to mid. Tit for tat now using the reflect onto Carol's W, but could be in a rough position here. That lethal tempo gets procced, but not quite able to find the kill. Was able to get under the turret, and now John Scott in a difficult position. Will get the Lux ultimate out as well. Ronan, good job preventing Anomaly from doing too much more damage with that knockup. No Cataclysm available quite yet, but the 3rd Drake is spawning now. Multiple ultimates not available for the side, for both of these teams really. Cataclysm not yet available. The low health bars on Tit for tat, but with a missing flash ultimate on the side of Ronan, does he fancy his chances here? Zandy Philly Rat is here on this bottom side. Pernix electing to remain on the top side now. Will TP. Tit for tat looking for the play. Does take the Drake. Zandy Philly Rat on this Mel. Will shut her down. Anomaly trying to go hard. Has the Cataclysm and uses it, but onto really no one. Pernix, though, on the backside of this fight, will find Misery Loves and Carol. Multiple members falling now for the Aatrox, and Zandy Philly Rat has to run for his life. Does not have the Ghost this time. No turret to protect him either. Will he be able to destroy Pernix? Again, does manage to avoid the Jinx Rocket and makes this take a long time. But with the help of the Braum, it will be an ace. Pernix doing a bit of BM. Taking 3 turret shots. Not quite managed to get that top side, but John Scott looking to take the mid. Will secure first turret for his team. This game is starting to break over in the favor of Enigmatic. Did secure that Drake, their soul, in 4 minutes, and Mountain Soul for this team is going to make things very difficult for the side of Blacklist. 5.5K gold lead at 19 minutes into the game. Enigmatic starting to pull away with this one. Some of this team fighting prowess just not being found in that team fight. As Misery Loves and Carol were trapped in between a rock and a hard place. Anomaly now sniffing around this mid lane, looking for potential play. Does have the Cataclysm, but does not have Flash. Cataclysm going to be a key way for this team to start off some of these fights. Rift Herald is now available. Will be despawning in about 30 seconds, so if they want to take this, they need to take it quickly. Opponent up here on this top side knows this, wants to at least distract them long enough. Working with Misery Loves. Sides against taking this fight. Crimson Pog will just zone him out. Full neutral objective control for the side of Enigmatic. They have taken all of these early game objectives, and Baron is now spawning in 20 minutes. Right now. So we'll see if they're able to take this. But Zanny Philly Rat fancies taking himself a fight against Pernix. Antibiotics now on this bottom side will collect the bot lane turret, get some gold back for his team. As an objective bounty will be claimed. But we'll have to see now. Enigmatic are going to need to close this game out. On Scott on 2 full items on this Jinx, definitely going to be very powerful. Has a lot more damage available than the Ashe at the moment. But needs to be able to do something with it. Smell also accelerated. Drake spawning in a minute. Both of these teams starting to posture around this bottom side as Pernix and Zanny Philly Rat going for each other, but Ronit now here on this top side. Pernix will use the Aatrox ultimate. If he goes down right now, that could be very bad. Multiple ultimates coming out from ADCs. Both will miss, and Pernix trying his best against Ronit. The healing from both of these champions so strong, but it will be the Aatrox that falls in the end. Now John Scott flashing forward, but Zanny Philly Rat fancies himself a play. John Scott running for his life. Has the cleanse, uses it, but does not manage to get away. Because now Anomaly will get charmed up. Uses the Cataclysm and multiple ultimates before this Drake fight. Means that it is going to be a little bit interesting, but tit for tat, not quite managing to get that execute onto the Lux. Antibiotics will survive on this bottom side. Will use the ultimate to try to clear out as much of that wave as possible to prevent tit for tat from taking this bottom lane turret. On the top side, Zanny Philly Rat getting a little bit back for his team, and this is not looking too good. It's not how you want the game to play out. If the jungler goes top, there's no reason why you shouldn't get priority on this Drake. But now the entire Enigmatic team are down here. TP available for Pernix. Going to need to find it, but Ronit finds John Scott, and the Enchanted Crystal Arrow also finds him. John Scott going down means that they cannot fight for this Drake, and they have now given up half of their gold lead back to BLT. They're going to give up this dragon as well. Pernix going to elect this topside push. Is he going to try a drive-by? He will. He will indeed. Will not manage to secure the Drake, but that was okay. All right. I respect the Anomaly. That was a very creative way to attempt a dragon steal. Not quite managed to get the smite off onto that dragon. Will go over to the side of BLT, but that is probably one of the most creative dragon steal attempts I think we've ever seen on this channel, and I'm here for it. Not quite, I'm sure, what the Rift Herald was intended for, but actually, I don't even know. If there are any jugglers in chat right now, somebody pipe up and tell me if that actually works. Can you smite while you're in? I know certain summoners are disabled, but I'm not sure if smite is disabled while driving the Rift Herald. If anybody knows the answer to that, or wants to spend a little bit of time in the practice tool to find out, please let me know on stream. We will give you a shout out. But for this game, both of these teams now in the mid lane. The next big objective is going to be that Baron, his misery, gets found out by Anomaly. Oh, multiple ultimates here. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow and the Encore coming out, but Anomaly responds back with an ultimate of his own, locking Misery Loves in that ultimate. Danny Philly Rat, though, very far ahead now. Will manage to secure 2 kills, looking for his third. Will find it. Will he get the 4th quadra kill for this Darius? Danny Philly Rat looking very good on this Darius. They will collect the Baron, and things starting to fall back for, or in the favor of BLT. Wearing purple now, are looking to play this game. They're not quite out of it just yet. John Scott needs to work on his positioning a little bit, because he's on the other side of the map as his team is fighting for Baron, just not able to participate in that team fight. But what can BLT get with this Baron? Still several outer turrets remaining for them. We'll see how they do capitalize on it. And one thing very interesting to note, there is not a lot of vision for either team on this map right now. A little bit around the Baron, but most of it has been cleared out. Drake, though, respawning in 2 minutes. Enigmatic are going to have another crack at this Dragon Soul. And Philly Rat now going to run down tit for tat. And if you miss that ability, it's pretty much over. Ronit coming up here to make sure the kill is secured. Pernix trying to help out his mid laner, but will get stunned up by the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Carol now putting Pernix in danger. Of solo laners going down for the side of Enigmatic, and this is kind of what I was talking about. You have the tools to be able to close out, but several mispositioning problems end up tilting the gold lead in the favor of BLT. They start to march down this top side. Only 3 members remaining for the side of Enigmatic. The rest of their team is going to need a recall. Crimson now finding himself in a bit of trouble. Will get jumped on by Ronit and Danny Philly Rat. The execute comes down. That will be a dead Braum. Ooh, Misery finding a good E over the wall. Ronit having to flash away from multiple potential ultimates there. John Scott throwing out the Jinx R. Several members are low for the side of BLT, and they will look to reset, spend some of their Baron gold. But a TP coming out for the Lux on this bottom side. Multiple members now down here. Ronit spotting out Anomaly. Will get knocked up. Oh, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow just not where you could see, but Pernix popping the ultimate as well. Tit for tat. Going to be the first one to go down to Zanny Philly Rat. Anomaly answering back onto Ronit with the Cataclysm. A double kill for the Darius means that this is uneven numbers for the side of Enigmatic, and they will look to push down this mid lane instead. John Scott getting a lot of damage onto this mid lane turret. will manage to secure it for his team. Darius and Lux trying to take the Drake now as Misery finds himself in a bit of a tough spot. Will use the Encore and the ultimate coming out from Antibiotics as well. Darius now here to even up the fight. Crimson Pog going to be pulled in, has to flash away. John Scott with the ultimate. Now Carol is here as well. John Scott just cannot find the angle. Zanny Philly Rat is legendary. Crimson Pog will be the double kill. Anomaly and Tit for Tat respawning, but their mid lane turret will go down as well. With that second Drake secured, they are close to securing their own soul point in this game. Minute and a half remaining on this Baron. And now a 4.2k gold lead at 30 minutes in the game. This gold graph has swung completely in their favor, not what we were expecting. Seeing the early game prowess, really, of this enigmatic side, but just not able to close this game out, not able to push to the end. Now BLT have brought themselves back into this game. Let's take a look at this gold graph really quickly here. It has swung completely the opposite direction. Has been swinging back and forth as well, but now we're getting a bit of a team fight here. Phoenix going on to Misery Loves, but the Enchanted Crystal Arrow will come out. Crimson stepping in front of his teammate. Anomaly using the ultimate as well. Zanid will flash away. Ronit, though, fancies a little bit more. Arrow flashing forward onto multiple members, but will get punished for it. Good flash from Tit for Tat, but the charm comes out. John Scott has to use the cleanse. Zanid trying to run him down, will manage to successfully do so. And a double kill coming out for Antibiotics on this Lux. They look to rotate over towards this Baron, spawning in 5 more seconds. Will be secured for their side. There's no one here to contest but a Braum. 5.5k. They are looking to extend it even further. Blue team secures Baron Asher. And may have secured themselves the game. They can find another play just like that one. Enigmatic need to be careful. They cannot overplay their hand. Need to find and use their CC to the effectiveness that we know they can. Phoenix has not been able to find good angles into this fight. The Darius just been on him every single time, doing all the damage. Now has 2 bruiser items, that Death Stance, the Sterix Gauge. And of course, the Dead Man's Plate coming out for this Darius, going to mean that he can run John Scott down very effectively. BLT now posturing around this bottom side, looking for this Dragon Soul point for themselves. In about a minute 30, we'll be taking all of this bottom side. In the mid lane, though, Antibiotics getting run down by Pernix. The Enchanted Crusader will come out, but will land onto the wrong member. Antibiotics going to use the Q, but Pernix just not able to finish it off. Now 3 more members of BLT have shown up, and Zanid is now here. Multiple members getting killed by Zanid. John Scott will manage to slay Carol. Tit for Tat getting a response as well. A very messy team fight leaves 2 for 4. Enigmatic not able to get much done in that fight. Zanny Philly Rat late to the fight. It does manage to clean up in the end and will push down on this bottom side. The Mel, the final member remaining. They will just collect that bottom lane turret and rotate back over to the Drake. Put themselves onto Soul Point. "30 seconds remaining on this Baron. A 7.4k gold lead here at 34 minutes into the game. BLT now commanding a larger gold lead than Enigmatic has this entire time. Now BLT in the driver's seat. And they close this game out. Next Baron respawning in 3 minutes. And could look to play passively. Just wait it out. See where we end up. Could use the Baron to secure the soul as well. We'll now have 3 Mountain Drakes. Going to be a relatively tanky team. Zanny Philly Rat having a lot of tank stats on this Darius means that he is going to be able to survive for a while. He is also 3 full levels ahead of Pernix on this Aatrox. Multiple members of Enigmatic falling behind in experience to their counterparts. This Mel not able to get things rolling. Is now Enigmatic posturing towards this bottom side. I'm not entirely sure why. But all of their members are down here. Potentially looking for a fight, but BLT posturing on the opposite quadrant of the map. Neither of these teams really finding each other. Are they just trying to hunt each other down as now they trade places? I would really like to understand what's going on right now. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow does come out onto John Scott, and the Storm Surge will take him down. So I guess that works out for the side of Enigmatic. The Ghost comes out from Zanny Philly Rat onto Tit for Tat. Will not get the apprehend. Will manage to slow him down. Tit for Tat now running for his life. Not for very long. Zanny Philly Rat is legendary. This Darius has not died in quite a while. And is now 6.5k ahead on his own. Is now BLT marching it down in this top side. A lot of poke available for this team as the ultimate comes out from Kanomaly. Zanny Philly Rat using his own ult, but not too much effect. Doesn't matter because Carol is there. The rest of the team is there to back him up, and that looks to be the end. Ronit pushing in this mid lane by himself. Pernix gets rooted, stunned up. Just cannot move. Does a lot of damage to Carol, but does not quite manage to finish the kill. John Scott, the final remaining member, but not for long. 2 inhibitors gone. The Nexus turrets soon to fall. A double kill for the Darius. Tit for Tat respawning, but just in time to watch the Nexus crumble. BLT 1-0 are waiting just on the teams to ready up. Both have now readied, and we are into picks and bans here for game number 2. Going to be starting it off with a Tom Catch ban for the side of ENG. Looks like they are going to be keeping the same bans for this game as well. Both sides electing to take the same bans. Going to be the new ban. Hubbard for the side of BLT will be locked in. The Shen also locked in for the side of Enigmatic. Same bans coming out here so far. We'll see if BLT do keep that up, and in fact they do. Bessic going to be locked in, and the Caitlyn in response. This time a Thresh for the side of BLT, and we'll see if Enigmatic elect to go for that Smolder, which has been left open. Enigmatic debating on their priority pick here for game number 1. Will be the Smolder. Very good, ENG. BLT not banning that one away. We'll have to see what we come up with for the side of BLT. In response, Enigmatic do need to pick up their win here. So we'll see if that Smolder priority pick can be the way that they get to success. What do they pair it with in the bot lane? Do they continue the scaling comp? We'll have to see. Isa going to be the response for the side of BLT. So trying to get some of that early aggression in. Need to see some jungle picks just as aggressive from the side of BLT to get that bot lane rolling and keep the Smolder behind. BLT, one more pick for this phase. See what they opt to pair it with. Kaisa can play well with a lot of supports. Definitely likes those engages, anything that can provide the CC. It will be the Udyr though. Picked up for the side of BLT, and this could be a flex pick. Obviously most commonly seen in jungle, but could also go for the top side. See if Enigmatic think it's going there, or if it's going to that jungle role. Will be the Aurelian Soul though, picked up for the side of ENG, and 2 dragons in the same phase. Nautilus going to be hovered and locked in for the side of ENG, so taking away some of that engage that Kaisa likes to play with, one of her favorite supports. But of course, Leona is still up and available. We'll have to see if ENG, or excuse me, we'll have to see if BLT lock their support here, or if they elect to leave it up, and if ENG can ban some more out. Tarek going to be the hover here. Will be locked in. This will be an interesting thing to see. BLT need some, I mean, Tarek is definitely difficult to play sometimes, especially with a team, but they can get that bot side rolling. The Kaisa can make quick use of that, and definitely an interesting pick into the Smolder as well. So now we'll see where the focus is BLT going to ban out a top and a jungler. The Cassante and the Vi both taken off the board. 2 mid laners taken off for the side of ENG, and definitely good picks into Aurelian Soul. Vigar and Silas also off the board. BLT now have their priority pick. We'll see what they elect to go for here. Likely going to be mid lane, allow top lane that counter pick. Will be, ooh, okay, interesting. The Vex locked in for BLT. So very good engage, very good dive for the side of BLT, really trying to put some of these scaling laners behind, trying to close this game out early. And this is exactly what they need to do on the side of BLT. If they're going to pick these aggressive laners and going to put the Smolder and the Aurelian Soul behind, we need to see that happen. ENG though, going to pick the Nocturne in response, and definitely an interesting pick here. Turning off the lights into a Vex and a Kaisa makes things very difficult. I kind of like this pickup. Not quite fitting with the scaling team comp that they want to go for, but does provide a lot of safety for some of those scaling laners, and also allows ENG the ability to create some really good gank opportunities, especially with the Nautilus. Going to be interesting to see what they pick up for their top side here. Will it be a tank, as we usually see with scaling compositions? Will be a none pick, so we'll wait to get confirmation from the teams to see what was picked here. Will be the Scion for the side of Enigmatic. BLT, their final pickup for this game. What do they counter pick into the Scion? Going for something aggressive will be the Mordekaiser. Okay, so Mordekaiser. All right, game number 2. BLT looking to close this one out. with an early aggressive composition. We'll see if they manage to do it. Ooh, double ward on the bottom side. Not what you wanted to see. Crimson and John Scott will get a decent amount of gold off of both of those wards not being defended. But we'll have it all to do. John Scott needs to get ahead early in this lane matchup if they want a chance. Misery Loves going aggressive on this bottom side will be taken very low. Crimson doing a lot of damage in the early team fight or in the early skirmish on this bottom side. Going to have a decent amount of time to heal up as Antibiotics trying to get some work done on this Aurelian Soul. Level 2 now for both of these bot laners here. Antibiotics trying to make some magic happen in this mid lane. Both junglers rotating over to their opposite sides. Information being given over to the side of BLT on where this jungler is. Not quite sure where the Udyr is yet, and that ward is going to expire before they spot him out. Pernix, though, on this top side, the much easier side of this match. Oh, Misery Loves going for the aggressive flash. Will get punished. The heal coming out from the Taric, but it's not going to be enough. First blood over to the Smolder. And I have some questions about that one. Most notably, oh, Antibiotics almost managing to get the kill. Did not have the Q back available. Does use both summoners. Does not manage to get the kill as Carol now picked off by Crimson. Getting very low on this Kaisa, and Anomaly rotating over as well. Looking for those early plays. Go ahead and go over to the Rift Scuttle. Or to the Scuttle Crab, excuse me. Now Misery Loves back in lane. John Scott out of mana. Crimson Pog having to walk away. And John Scott, I don't think that's where you want to recall, buddy. They're clearly coming back over, but Carol now in a bit of a rough position, and Anomaly here as well will pick up the kill onto Carol. The barrier used. Oh no, Anomaly falling. Does get executed actually, but Misery Loves going to fall as well. 1-for-1 trade on the bottom side. Anomaly almost managing to pick that one up. And another double ward in that bottom side for the side of Enigmatic, as Antibiotics now find themselves in a very rough position against both Pernix and Tit for Tat. Will manage to get out. Normally up on this top side, making sure that Zanny and Philly Rat able to push that wave all the way in. We'll be wasting a lot of time in this jungle and we'll be behind in tempo now, but we'll pick up some gold in trade. Antibiotics in a bit of a rough position here will fall to Tit for Tat. It's Aurelian Soul getting very strong early. And a good pickup from the side of Enigmatic in that first phase, as it was banned out in the second one. Both dragons really starting to get accelerated here. Not what you want to see if you are BLT. We'll have to see if this Mordekaiser can start doing some work in the top side. BLT going to start up this early Drake. Do have the more aggressive comp. And yeah, I definitely have some questions about some of those plays from Misery Loves going aggressive onto some of those plays when the kill angle just didn't seem to be there. But would be interested to hear some of the comms. But now Ronit going to get spotted out by Anomaly. Does get the Drake stolen away and now may get his life stolen away as well. The Ronit needing to flash. The Crimson Pog being there and Misery Loves soon to follow. Multiple members picked off by this enigmatic squad, taking the Drake right in his face as well. Would be very frustrating for the side of BLT. They picked this early aggressive comp and it's just really not working out for them. As now Carroll in a bit of a rough position underneath his own turret. John Scott will take a lot of damage though. The Smolder needs to be very careful. We'll be going for the Hubris first item. And, we'll see if that works out for him. Whether the item will live up to its name. Now Pernix ultimate used. The ultimate in response from Zanny Philly Rat, but will go to the turret. Will manage to secure the kill anyway. A little bit of life back for the side of this BLT team. Zanny Philly Rat going to have it all to do on this top side. Going to need to carry his team into the mid game very clearly. Will he be able to handle both of these scaling laners? Only time will tell. John Scott getting a lot of gold on this bottom side. Now the lights go out onto top side. Zanny Philly Rat going to need to run away. Will manage to do so successfully. And it's definitely been talked about before how important that first Nocturne ult is. And using it on that top side is not exactly what you want. Especially if your laner does not have the ultimate to set up that kill. Normally not able to make anything happen on this top side. And now Zanny Philly Rat going to try to kill Pernix off again. Will get that passive on the Mordekaiser. Will force the flash out of Pernix, but tit for tat now up here on this top side to respond. Normally on these grubs, and I don't think that BLT knows that he's there. Multiple members. Pernix going to land the ultimate. Will land the fear as well. Pernix going to fall. Anomaly does manage to pick up those void grubs. Full early objective control. Ooh, Anomaly now getting ultimate by antibiotics. No follow-up though, and the Nocturne will be safe. Recall canceled here, but now teleport coming in from Pernix. Does have that ultimate available. Mordekaiser are going to be needing to be very careful on this top side. Does not have the flash available. Misery and Arrow in this bottom lane. Getting pushed in once again. Taking a lot of damage from John Scott. Multiple stacks achieved. Crimson going to be stunned up underneath his turret. Oh, Carroll getting caught though. Does force the heal out of Misery, but the ultimate coming down will check both of these laners. Flashes for both of them and barrier as well. All four summoners gone on this bottom side. Pernix trying to get Zanny's attention. Keep him away from that wave and take a wave of his own. Will use the ultimate to get out. No flash available for the Mordekaiser. And Pernix will just get away with that one. Ronit now getting spotted out by Crimson Pog on his bottom Gromp. But this turret is very low for the side of BLT on this bottom side. Oh, John Scott though, very huge miss position. Crimson Pog will try to save him. Does flash away. The lights go out. Anomaly onto the bot lane. Kaisa will get the shutdown onto John Scott, and I really don't think that's where you wanted to be. Run it though, not where he wants to be either. Will be taken down by Anomaly. The ultimate coming out from both mid laners. Shutdown onto Crimson. Double kill for Tit for Tat, but in response, Anomaly will also, or excuse me, Antibiotics will also get a double kill. And I'm going to call that a 4 for 3 in favor of BLT. Starting to show a little bit of what this team wants to do, but also John Scott really mispositioning on that Smolder. Did not need to be there. Multiple members of both teams finding important kills. Now multiple members of BLT down here on this bottom side. Ronik coming in will try to take out Crimson Pog and will indeed manage to do so. Anomaly comes to respond, but the rest of BLT are going to be happy with that kill. Well, take the one and get out. Cloud Drake now spawning as the second random Drake in this game. Enigmatic are going to be looking for that. Tit for Tat going on to Misery really deep in this particular area. Will be found by Antibiotics, and Ronet will get stunned up. The Ignite ticking down. Antibiotics will secure that kill. And once again, we see a bit of mispositioning coming out from this Enigmatic team. Last time it was John Scott getting caught multiple times that led to difficult positions for some of these later team fights. Once again, that leadoff has caused issues. Will manage to secure this first turret on the bottom side though. When it is down here, Misery will not find the turret stun, unfortunately. And the game back to an even state. On it flashing onto Anomaly, who turns the lights out, tries to go on to this Kaisa, but the turret ultimate coming out, and Anomaly now in a lot of trouble. Will fall to Carol. Antibiotics looking for a play, but not quite going to find one just yet. And now with Anomaly out, he cannot simply walk in and steal the Drake. Ronet going to take this one for his team. It's Carol going to secure that one. BLT starting to show their composition strengths in some of these early team fights. We'll have to see if they can close it out. Antibiotics now in a bit of a difficult position. Multiple members of Enigmatic here, and no fear available. Going to have to use the flash on this Vex to get away. Both dragons here in the mid lane. Phoenix and Zanid still fighting it out on this top side. The ultimate coming out from Pernix, but will miss. Crimson on this top side now. Anomaly also coming up. The flash for Misery does not net the stun. Zanid in a rough position is going to likely use that ultimate. Will indeed do so. Onto Crimson Pog. Pernix with a good stun up, but the shield back up and rode it now here on this top side. Going to mean disaster for this Enigmatic squad. Pernix trying to get something done, but doesn't have the ultimate. A good hook. The lights come out. Zanid Philly Rat will fall, and Anomaly trying to get out as well. Ronet very, very low. Misery finding the stun. Carol here to clean up this kill. A 1-for-1 trade. Worked for top laner, but Antibiotics will go down, and that makes it uneven. TP now on this top side is Carol and Misery trying to push in this wave. Gold lead swing back in favor of Enigmatic. But multiple members collapsing here onto John Scott. Crimson Pog is here. But if the Udyr goes immune, and indeed he does, John Scott in a very difficult position. The ultimate coming out from the Kaisa, and that is a dead dragon. John Scott getting caught out once again. Crimson now may pay for it with his life. Tit for tat here on the response. Let's do a decent amount of damage, but not securing any kills just yet. Rift Herald now in the sights of Ronit. Drake not spawning for another 2 minutes. No team in complete control of the early objectives. Enigmatic do have more. These top laners just battling it out, but Pernix is starting to get very healthy at this point. Rift Herald now secured for the side of BLT. Both teams slowing the pace of the game down. 2 turrets down for the side of BLT. John Scott will be at that 125 mark. Misery will find the stun onto Crimson. Antibiotics now here as well. The lights go out. And Mom comes out as well. But Crimson Pog will fall. Anomaly not selecting a target. Antibiotics, though, does select a target, and Carol going on a rampage in this mid lane. Tit for tat having the TP in, will step back and fly in with the ultimate. Pernix now coming down as well, but Misery Loves will fall before that ultimate is completed. Carol now next up on the chopping block will fall. Ronit going to try to use the Rift Herald to get out. Anomaly will not allow that. Triple kill for Tit for tat here in this mid lane. Very strong on this Aurelion Soul. And Philly Rat needs to be a little bit careful. Is by himself and very pushed up. Anomaly and Tit for tat not electing to go towards that top side. $18 minutes. And only a 2k gold lead. Misery Loves finding out Crimson Pog here in this jungle as Drake is about to spawn. Battling back and forth, but Crimson goes in. John Scott is here as well. Antibiotics getting caught up. And now Pernix is here. Multiple fears from Antibiotics, but no follow-up to be found. 2 for 0 right now in this extended team fight. But Zanny is here as well. Lights go out for Anomalies. He flashes away, but flash in from Ronit. Multiple members now falling. And 225 achieved at 18 minutes and 51 seconds. A double kill for Tit for tat. He's going to look for Carol as well. Will not find him. And at least one carry has scaled on the side of Enigmatic. John Scott just needs to not get caught out. He's been caught out multiple times. Mispositioned multiple times. Need to find the correct place. Play behind your front line. Pernix now, though, on this bottom side into Antibiotics. And this one may go all the way, folks. Scott looking very good at this point. If you are the side of BLT, this is not what you want to see. A 20 minutes or pre-20 minute scale of the Smolder. Going to feel very bad for the side. Baron now spawning. And a 3.5k gold lead in the favor of Enigmatic. Can they close this one out? Took them a little while in the previous game, but did not have quite the scaling they had previously. Pernix and Zanny going to be fighting it back and forth on the top side once again. No one else in the area to interrupt their back and forth. But Zanid not quite as far ahead as he was last game on that Darius. Going to have a bit more work to do. Run it though. Now up here on this top side. Going to force the ultimate out of Pernix. Crimson looking for the angle on Carol. Does have that E passive, and the lights go out onto Carol. Tit for tat in the backline, the flash away from both of these members, but the ultimate coming out from Misery Loves will not save himself. Will save his laner. Instead, Pernix in a rough position, but this is not who you really want to be fighting right now. Pernix does not really matter at this point in the game. It's really these scaling carries, the ones that are pushing your lane in. Anomaly hovering over here on the side, trying to protect, but Ronet does use the Blast Cone effectively. Go get to the lane. Carol not quite in a position to carry just yet. Does have 2 completed items on this Kaisa and will have multiple parts of his passive. Still only level 11, 2 levels down on the Smolder. Zanid will finally get a turret for his team. Top lane secured for this Mordekaiser. But once again, multiple members of BLT are down. Or excuse me, this time multiple members of BLT are down in experience points to their counterparts. Zanid Philly Route, the only one who is ahead. But still, is it far enough as we take a look at some of the experience? Zanid is in the lead. Pernix and Tit for Tat not far behind, but Antibiotics behind his laner. John Scott and Anomaly ahead of Ronet and Carol. Crimson also ahead of Misery on this top side. A little bit of battling back and forth as now Tit for Tat find himself in a very rough position, but the lights go out on top side. Pernix going to find things very difficult. Zanid does use the ultimate. Crimson now coming up towards this top side, but Zanid has already made it a 1-for-1. Does he want to make it a 2-for-1? Does not have the shield. Don Scott once again getting caught out as well, though. Bomb will come out, but not able to secure any of these kills. But some question marks in my mind from the side of Enigmatic. You're going topside to help your tank top laner, who really is supposed to, it's supposed to be the other way around. Crimson now sniffing things out, but Anomaly does not have the ultimate. BLT will decide to back off anyway. But some question marks in my mind. The jungler and the support for Enigmatic going topside, leaving their carries completely alone. Now, that's not to say that their carries shouldn't know that and play safe, but no reason to be helping out Pernix at this point in the game. But Pernix is now helping out his team in this back line. Ronet in a very rough position, and Misery Loves will fall. Will manage to get the ultimate off, though. Zanid now here as well, but Tit for Tat getting slain by Carol. The Anomaly going deep for Antibiotics will not manage to secure that kill. Tit for Tat trying to get out, will slay the top laner, and now Ronet trying to get an answer back, but not quite able to find one. Will go down to the Smolder, a double kill for John Scott, getting a little bit of revenge. And if you are the side of BLT, you're regretting some of these choices. Antibiotics going to make Anomaly regret his choice. Will take out the jungler. No Drake taken for the side. Misery spotting multiple members out. John Scott trying to go aggressive onto Antibiotics. A good Sonya's And a good fear. Pernix now trapped underneath this turret with multiple members. Enigmatic's going to get clipped by Mom, but will not fall. John Scott barely avoiding that stun as Carol looking to go aggressive here, but Crimson turns the tide of that fight, and John Scott is now on a killing spree. But to be quite honest, you need to be worried for this, this BLT squad. 5.4k gold lead at 26 minutes. John Scott getting stunned up here. Antibiotics is not that far behind. Flash coming out. But John Scott is unstoppable, and Crimson is keeping this dragon alive. And keeping alive the hopes of Enigmatic. More guys are going to need to find the Smolder or this Aurelian Soul and take them down in his ultimate for this BLT squad to have a chance. Carol managing to shut down John Scott, but will go down to the Aurelian Soul instead. And also finding Xanid. Mizurlov's trying to go for that stun, will not find anyone. Enigmatic are now pushing in the base. Almost all outers taken. The only one standing is top lane tier 2. Going to be incredibly risky for them to push further as multiple members are respawning now. Ronit with a bit of riskiness of his own. Pernix trying to keep him away from this buff. Kanomly is 2 levels ahead of this Udyr. Will manage to secure the red buff. Now Crimson Pog sniffing around, looking to see what he can get. Baron up and available. Not been taken by either team just yet. No sweeping coming out from this BLT side, and they're going to get found out by this ward. Antibiotics finally getting one off. Multiple members of both teams here trying to posture around this Baron. And in the team fight, it's going to be very rough for this BLT squad. They need to find a pick early onto one of these carries. Pernix not going to be the target, neither is Crimson. But ENG elect to start the Baron here, and Pernix trying to zone off Misery. Going to get run by Xanid and Antibiotics. Carol sniffing out where this Baron's at. 3k health remaining, and the ultimate coming out from the A-Soul. Oh my goodness. Just getting saved by the ultimate from Misery, but now the scaled carries of Enigmatic are just cleaning up this team fight tit for tat. Going to do a lot of damage. Antibiotics getting run down by Pernix, but going to get run down by this dragon instead. Triple kill for the Aurelian Soul. And that team fight would have ended a lot quicker if not for Misery's ultimate on that Taric. It does not matter in the end. Enigmatic are going to push down this mid lane wearing purple, have a full wave, and no members of BLT to stop them. One Nexus turret falls. Misery, the only one to respawn. The second one soon to follow. And the Nexus not far behind as Carol respawns just in time to watch himself die. John Scott on another kill. Pernix going to fall, but it does not matter. Pipper Tat will collect that 50 gold. And 1-1 for these teams. Alright, welcome back. In game number 3, BLT have elected the blue side for this game. Enigmatic will be taking the red. And so far, bans are remaining the same for both of these teams. Ambessa going to be the first ban for the side of BLT. And it will be interesting to see most of these scaling options now no longer available for either team. So how do these team fights shake out? We saw Enigmatic win with the scaling team comp. We saw BLT hold it out early against more of an aggressive team comp in game number 1. What does game number 3 hold for us? How do both of these teams win? As we see these bans remaining mostly the same for both of these teams, will be the Thresh once again for the side of BLT, and we'll see what their priority pick is on this blue side. Still a decent number of priority picks remaining. Several strong junglers that could be picked up here. Decent mid laners and ADCs as well. Some hyper carries that could come out. And we don't often get 3 games in TLS, especially not in Surge, but it seems like Surge has the most interesting game number 3s, and a Twitch pickup for the side of BLT. Now that is what I call interesting. Cannot wait to see how this shakes out. Brand, though, going to be the response covered here for the side of Enigmatic. We'll see if this is locked in. 6 seconds remaining. And it will indeed be locked in. Now, Brand could be a 3-way flex. Pantheon also a 2-way flex. 3-way. Brand being able to flex between jungle, support. Actually, Brand more of a 4-way flex, I guess. The only lane he can't really go is top. Even then, he could probably make it work. Pantheon, though, able to go top, jungle, or support. So, Enigmatic picking themselves a lot of flexibility here. Okay, will be the swap to the Wukong. Still a bit of a flex pick. And go top lane or jungle. Want to see where this monkey ends up. Does BLT return to their pick phase? What are the next picks? What do they want to pair with this Twitch? What do they want to respond to the Wukong with? Most likely going jungle. That's where we most commonly see him. Have to see if that continues. But Nami going to be the pickup here for BLT. And this is not my favorite pairing with Nami. Definitely better hyper carries, but can go pretty decently. Yumi often seen with Twitch. Lulu also very good with the Twitch. But Nami, a very strong support. One of the strongest in the game, in my opinion. Falling only behind Lulu. Amumu, though, going to be the pickup here for BLT. And this could be very scary for the side of ENG. A lot of CC, a lot of team fight control coming out early for the side of BLT. Yumi and Swain being hovered back and forth. And this would be interesting. Swain also a good flex between 3 different roles. We'll have to see where ENG end up electing to send most of these laners. Could make things very difficult in the mid lane. Whether that is a Swain or a Brand. Mid lane focus, though, for the side of ENG. The Malzahar and the Vigar coming out as bans. BLT getting the Cassante away on that top side. Will they elect another one? Okay, sort of. Flex between top and mid. And a lot of flex picking here available for ENG, so reducing some of that will feel pretty good. As the Briar now hovered for the side of ENG. Last time we saw them play this pick, it was played in the mid lane. Would indicate to me most likely a Swain Brand bot lane. Which champion goes where is up for determination, but most likely Swain AP carry. Brand in that support role will be locked in now for the side of ENG. Now, Briar could go jungle, could be the Wukong top, but we do know, if you know Roxina in the TLS Discord, you know that he plays Briar mid, so it will be interesting to see if that does end up going to the mid lane. BLT, though, going to be a little bit confused by this pick. We'll take the Silas. This will be an interesting pickup. There are a lot of melee range ultimates for him to pick up the Swain and the Wukong, both requiring him to be in melee range. But of course, a melee champion likes to be in that position. BLT with their final pick here. Will they be able to control this Briar? Will be the Alawi lock-in for the top side. They need Philly Rat trying to go hard in this lane. What does ENG elect to respond with? Where is that Wukong going? Is it going top into the Alawi? Or is it a response to the Amumu? Find out here in about 7 seconds as the time dwindles away for their final pick. Will be a Nun pick. Okay, we have another Nun pick. Will be Vayne. Okay. All right, welcome back. Game number 3. BLT versus Enigmatic. Both of these teams looking for the win here. Will we see a little bit more action? 3 members here of BLT spotting out 2 members of Enigmatic. Anomaly getting stunned up. The Ignite coming out in first blood. Excuse me. Going over to BLT. Early win for this squad. It will be the Brand Swain bot lane. It will be the Vayne top going into that Alawi. Antibiotics and Tit for Tat both playing similar style champions in this early game, wanting to trade their HP. Good early burn on this bottom side. Okay, camera is going to have a little bit of issue thanks to all the poison and burn in this game. I apologize for that. So we'll have to see. This bot lane has been interesting. John Scott definitely having a little bit of difficulty with positioning. We'll have to see how well he can pilot this Brand. Getting good level 2. But Carol also level 2 now. Does get rooted up by Crimson. Takes a little bit of damage back and forth with this wave in a very good spot for Carol and Misery. For Tat and Antibiotics now fighting it out in the mid lane here. Ooh, the stun though onto Misery. Going to take a decent amount of damage on this Nami, but will be able to heal it up. Has full mana. Now we'll have to see how Anomaly recovers. Is behind a little bit in tempo on this Amumu. 1 buff, or 1 camp behind, to be exact. Will drop his blue buff. Oh, and Tit for Tat going insane on Antibiotics, taken very low. Does not have that Ignite available. If he did, would be disaster for this Briar early. We saw how well it could do into a Lysandra, but we'll have to see into the Silas how this lane matchup goes. Anomaly trying to go for this topside buff. It doesn't know that Ronan is already on it. Antibiotics going back and forth. The flash! Antibiotics getting a second kill. Well, I guess really a kill and an assist now. Misery loves having a flash away on this top side. Pernix onto Ronan now. Anomaly trying to get something back. Does manage to get the second scuttle. Zanny now rotating down, but is it too late? The Mumu going back in. Multiple flashes used. Pernix securing the kill onto Ronan, but will he be able to get away from Zanny? Does not look like it. Zanny now going on to Philly Rat. Gets over the wall. Misery Loves now very rough on the HP pool.
I'll be right under their noses.
Carol also very low on this Twitch. Not a lot of mana to speak of for either of these bot laners. Tit for tat. Ooh. Just a little too early on the Abscond Abduct, as Misery, taken very low, does have to use the heal. Tit for tat slightly ahead. Does have the Ignite available, but so does Antibiotics on the Silas. Wukong going to be a little bit behind on his camp rotations. Did drop most of his bottom side, and Ronan is now here on the bottom side. Does manage to get onto Crimson. That is going to be one dead Swain, but John Scott trying to make it a trade back will secure Misery Loves. The flash already used. Ronan just needs to land that bandage toss, but unfortunately does not have a lot of mana. Will go for the play underneath the turret. Will not quite manage to secure the kill. Okay. Arnix. A ranged matchup into that top lane. Okay, once again, early on the Abscond Abduct. Antibiotics getting stunned up, and Konamli is now here in the mid lane. Does not have access to that flash. Does try to go for a kill and will not manage to get it. The Q coming up for Tit for Tat on that Briar. Anomaly helping his mid laner secure the kill. Zanny gets pushed underneath his turret. We'll take a little bit of poke, and we'll have a bit of difficulty securing some of these minions. We'll miss the Tentacle Strike just slightly onto Pernix. Aim slightly in Enigmatic's favor, as they have balanced things out just a little bit. Opponent now looking for this Drake, but Konamli spots him out. Is he going to do the exact same thing? Ronet says, nah, I'm not going to let you this time. The ultimate coming out from the Briar. But multiple people here. Oh, Konamli gets ultimate landed on him by Antibiotics, but good from Tit for Tat to prevent that from going too much further. Now the bot lanes start to clash, and it looks like Enigmatics is going to come out on top. Tit for Tat looking to go a little bit more aggressive on to Carol. Does have to use the Q, but Crimson flashing forward secures that kill. Drake going over to Konamli as well. He'll say thanks for the leash. We'll take this Rift Scuttle. This game starting to swing aggressively in Enigmatic's favor. 3.5k gold lead at 7 minutes. Misery landing the bubble. Opponent in the area, and Carol not far behind, but John Scott will secure that kill. Ronet trying to make a return kill happen, but John Scott is level 6 now. Crimson will fall, and the stun missing onto John Scott means that he will fall. Both bot laners falling for the side of Enigmatic, and this is some trading back and forth. Both teams keeping this one bloodied. 13 deaths already in this game. Antibiotics taking a little bit of trade, is down a little bit in experience on Tit for Tat. Crimson now sniffing around this mid lane, trying to see if Antibiotics goes aggressive. Anomaly now looking for the grubs. Tit for Tat up here, and Pernix as well. Tit for Tat back in this mid lane looking for Antibiotics. Won't do a decent amount of damage, but Ignite coming out for both of these laners to prevent the healing. Antibiotics a little bit low, but does still have a decent amount of mana. Will pull him underneath the turret. A shutdown going over to the Silas. Meanwhile, Konamli is able to secure those Void Grubs.
Sneaky, sneaky.
Looking for Ronit now on that top side. Another 2v2 fight between top lane and jungle. Ronit going to be found, having to use the ultimate and flash away, but Crimson also on this bottom side, creating so much space back and forth. Alawi trying to get a kill here onto Pernix. Oh, will be found by Ronit. And Antibiotics is here now as well. Pernix having to get away. Carol and Misery on that bottom side falling. So a trade across the map. This camera is having a rough time. All of this tick damage. Team staying relatively even in kills. The objectives starting to fall for the side of Enigmatic. Going to make things a little bit rough. And this Alawi, despite how much farm she's down, she is 3-0. Pernix not able to find some of those early kills despite the exhaust. Now Crimson posturing around this Drake will be spawning in a minute. Good bubble from Misery. Crimson almost getting found by Ronit. Does manage to stun him up, pull him, and get another stack. Antibiotics will steal the mid lane ultimate once again. Ooh, it's now it will go topside, but will miss. Antibiotics still walking up here onto Pernix. Will use the ultimate. Manage to dodge away from that abscond abduct. Bot lane being pushed in here by the side of Enigmatic. On it. Rotating down towards this bottom side. And you get spotted out by Kanomali. Will make things very awkward. And the ultimate coming out from Tit for Tat. But both ultimates used here for the junglers. Antibiotics trying to protect his jungler here. Will stun up Tit for Tat. Will still fall. Carol also falling on this bottom side. But Carol getting stunned up by the bubble. Or excuse me, Crimson getting stunned up by the bubble. Not taking turret aggro though. Will pull Misery. Will end his life. 12 kills now for the side of Enigmatic. A 4k gold lead at 12 minutes. But Tit for Tat trying to trade some of that back. No Q available. And Tit for Tat will fall on that Briar. Antibiotics now trying to prevent this Drake from going down, but Kanomali does have Smite. Will secure the Drake. Using that Swain ultimate to great effect. Will manage to kill off Kanomali. Crimson Pog not far behind. Ronit trying to catch up, but Crimson has no mana. Will need to flash. Will miss the E on the Silas. Will almost get the trade back. That Silas using the Swain ultimate for so long, and now John Scott in a bit of trouble, although Carol a bit early on the reveal will use that ultimate to no effect. BLT trying to get something back here, but just not able to manage it so far. Topside still the bright bit of hope for their team. As Pernix not able to make that Vayne work in their favor. Will be up in farm. About 40. Still quite a bit down in kills. Neither top laner having their first item yet. The Black Cleaver on the... looks like first up for the side of the Alawi. Though, not entirely sure if that's going to be the case. John Scott trying to get this bottom lane turret. First turret will go down. Ronit going to try and show up to this fight. Misses John Scott. John Scott throwing out the ultimate there. Antibiotics getting ultimate by Tit for Tat here. Will try to go onto the Briar, but unfortunately just too many members of Enigmatic still up and available. 6k gold lead now at 14 minutes in the favor of Enigmatic. Looking very good for them. Will secure that top lane turret, but they're still going to have this Lowy to deal with. Misery Loves now finding a lot of misery in this bottom lane. Anomaly stealing away the blue buff. Ronet trying to find the bandage toss onto Anomaly, will only find the clone. Ernix now down here to assist. Oh, but Anomaly getting found. Will use the Amumu ultimate, but no one else available to follow up just yet. Will accept that the buff has been stolen. Both teams will walk out. Anomaly starting up this Rift Herald. Antibiotics walking the wrong direction to be able to help him out. Filigrat, though, coming down. Anomaly will use the ultimate. No Amumu ult available. Was just used. Crimson Pog now here to back up his team. But Anomaly very, very low. Ronet the same. Misery Loves trying to help out his team. And Filigrat is on a rampage. 3 members fall for the side of Enigmatic. And the Rift Herald will be secured by Ronet. John Scott now trying to take his shot at it. But once... Oh, okay. Will manage to find one member of BLT. Will go on a rampage, but will immediately be shut down afterwards by antibiotics. And I have some questions about that positioning there. But we'll see how this works out for both of these teams, fighting back and forth. Filigrat going to be the bright spot for his team. Will likely lose this turret here very shortly, but still doing very well on this Alawi. Going to be very difficult for the side of Enigmatic to fight him. As a Black Cleaver does come out first item. Not a ton of armor on the side of Enigmatic, but still a decent item for this Alawi. We'll go ahead and lose this turret here to Pernix on this top side. Antibiotics looking for John Scott here. Will use the Swain ultimate that he picked up earlier. Oh, a good bubble from Misery on the bottom side. Good wave coming out as well. Anomaly very, very low. Tit for tat. Not far behind. Ronet looking for another bandage toss. Will not find it. Forcing the flash out of Anomaly. Antibiotics not finding a kill in that mid lane just yet. But this Drake should likely be secured by the side of BLT. Crimson Pog on this bottom side. Will spot out Ronet. Will not find the claw. Anomaly, though, healthy enough to start up this Drake. BLT will know about it. Are rotating both top laners over. And Misery going over the wall. This is a very interesting play by the Nami. Going to fall for his sins. Ooh. The ultimate coming out from the Briar onto Ronet. Will get stunned up. Lowy here as well. Antibiotics trying to fight Pernix on this top side, but the rest of the team fight is going poorly for the side of BLT. Anomaly finding multiple people with that ultimate from the Monkey. Will knock them all up. A double kill for Tit for Tat, excuse me. I keep making that mistake. And a 2 for 5. A full ace for the side of BLT. They will fall. The Drake will fall as well. Enigmatic picking that one up and putting themselves on Soul Point. Taking all of the outer turrets now. And I'm not quite sure what that early play was from the side of Misery on the Nami, going over the wall there, maybe expecting the Twitch to come with. But I think Carol correctly deciding not to take that Blast Cone would put himself in a very difficult position. The ultimate thrown out by Antibiotics. Not going to find the Briar. Filigrat going to find his first death here as well. Going to be a little bit frustrating in terms of team fighting, but BLT is still capable of bringing this one back. Still capable of fighting this Enigmatic team. This is the second time they've been in a gold deficit. Roa build for the Silas, and we've been seeing this a lot in Surge, really in TLS in general. Not entirely sure that I love this scaling build on the Silas, but it is an option. Will give him a little more tankiness against a lot of this team, so not, all in all, not horrible. Philly Rat going to sidestep the ultimate from tit for tat, but Konami up here as well. Multiple members up here for the ultimate. In fact, 4 of them on this top side gives the Alawi a lot of power, but unfortunately those tentacles do not come down in time. Philly Rat will find his second death of the game. Carol not able to find a whole lot on this Twitch. Will use the ultimate, but will get stunned up by Pernix. The wave comes out, but will not be enough. Antibiotics is here now, though. Does have the Swain ultimate. Misery very low, though, and multiple healthy members on the side of Enigmatic in this mid lane. Tit for tat pushing in that top lane. Ronit now here. Anomaly using the clone to get away. Antibiotics using that slow to great effect. Will find John Scott on the backside fighting Anomaly now. Blast Cone going to separate him from the rest of his team. Will have some healing, but not enough. Misery now needing to run. Anomaly getting found by Zanid. Will he be able to escape? The flash available for Zanid. Will use it on that Alawi and will secure the kill onto Anomaly, making it an even trade. 2 for 2. I guess extended slightly favored in the favor of ENG. They did manage to take down the Twitch earlier. Pernix now here back. Both top laners now battling it out in the mid lane. 1 item each for them. Very close to that second item completion. Both teams starting to clear out the vision around this top side. Baron up and available. Drake in a minute. Oh my goodness, that is so much damage onto that brand. Carol losing his life. And there was a prediction in the Twitch chat a little bit earlier by Horizon. Either this Twitch is going to be permanent gray screen or he is going to carry. It seems like the former is the problem, or is what's happening right now. 30 seconds remaining on this Drake. BLT need to fight. Need to find a pick and not just give soul away. Especially not Chemtech. Pernix using the ultimate, using the exhaust. Will not manage to stun Philly Rat up. Will be doing a lot of damage and it will be enough. Exhaust, very cringe on top laners. But here we are as Misery getting found by multiple members of ENG, excuse me. Will lose his life and run it. Going to give away this Drake. Looking a little bit homeless on this Amumu. Antibiotics trying to sniff out to see if there's anybody in that brush. Will not find anyone. No wards for Run It to find either. Will look for a steal. Carol trying to walk down here, but is not invisible. Ooh, a good stun coming out for Ronan on the ult. Will manage to steal the Drake, but will lose his life and the life of his ADC. Going to feel very frustrating for the side of ENG, not managing to secure that soul. A good steal away by Ronit. First of the series for him. Doing what Anomaly did to him earlier. But now they're going to start up this Drake, Will Enigmatic. And 4 members here. Tit for tat on this bottom side fighting. Antibiotics again. Misery loves throwing out the wave. Anomaly very, very low. Zanny Philly Rat is here. Crimson trying to keep him out. John Scott just missing the stun. Will manage to secure this Baron. And now Pernix going forward, flashing on this Vayne. Will secure Misery loves. John Scott killing off this Alawi. 5 members of Enigmatic wearing purple.
You're looking a little green.
Carol, not long for this world. Pernix having the Blade of the Ruined King will secure that kill. Antibiotics trying to get something back for his team. Will take turret aggro. Will manage to secure the turret, but will lose his life for it. Briar is now unstoppable. 10, 4, and 3 on this champion. 2 full items, a third on the way. Ronit stunning up John Scott. Misery loves there to assist, and that will be a dead brand. Once again, this ADC just caught out of position. No one there to assist. And yes, you are strong on that brand, but you are not that strong just yet. Not be there without assistance. 4 items on this brand. Definitely does a lot of damage as Ronit looking for another member. We'll find Crimson. Not elect to continue that fight though. Game will be pushed by Enigmatic, doing their best to close this one out. A 10k gold lead. They can slap them with the wallets. TP coming out for John Scott in this mid lane. Will not have Baron, but has other members here to help him out. And Bardock sitting on the side, looking for potential play. Probably looking to steal away Crimson Pog's ultimate. Will do so. Now in the middle of multiple members. Zanny Philly Rat coming as well. Tit for tat. Looking, the wave comes out, but it's just disaster. Triple kill for John Scott. Using that brand ult. Carol, the only remaining member, will get stunned up, will get flashed on. John Scott taking multiple turret shots. That is going to be the end of the game. A 13k gold lead. They did in fact slap them with the wallets. It was a good look from Antibiotics, but was not able to find the kill. 1 Nexus turret remaining will be closed out. A little bit of BM coming out at the end of this game, but they are wearing purple, waiting for Ronit to respawn. He will be the first one after Misery. Not able to get the kill, will John Scott. The game is over. All right, welcome back. We have Crimson Pog here with us for an interview for those games. Crimson, you did a really good job supporting your team. The Nautilus in game number 2 was amazing. The Swain in game number 3, really setting up your team for a lot of the team fights that they were able to win. So how are you guys feeling after that first win, or after this win?
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, we dropped a game for the first time this tournament, and so it's a good feeling to be able to bounce back.
Yeah, you guys are looking really strong right now. You've taken down some of the teams that we did not necessarily expect. You took down DR last week, and Blacklist was also looking relatively strong. But you guys are looking really good. So, how's the team feeling? Are you guys prepping to take it all?
Yeah, hopefully. We're feeling good. Good vibes all around.
Hell
Hopefully
yeah!
we can keep it up.
All right. Anyone else you want to shout out on your team?
I mean, I think everyone on the team played really well. Thank you to our sub for subbing in for 2 weeks as well. So shout out to my mid laner.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your night and enjoy your victory. We'll see you. Hopefully we'll see you again.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right.